Good morning. It is 6:13. Daylight savings time had me waking up super early. So, yesterday we were working on the top part of this guy, and we are going to continue with that. So let me start QuickTime recorder. Audio's on, and this particular video will go on YouTube as well. So let's begin. This shape here, I don't know, it's kind of we're a little bit limited other than what we see. That shape kind of starts off with as a polygon cube, so, and also as a bevel. So let's start off with that shape, and let's go to polygon cube. I'll look at this from my front view. Click here from one corner to the next, and create the height. So that's our object, and next thing that we need to do is try to determine what's next. Alright, so I'll press E, I'll hold J, rotate it like that, and then it's definitely going to need to come down a little bit more, like that shape. And if we can look, alright, I'm going to bring everything over here back to the family. Okay, so one thing's true. Is that this shape I'm going to rotate this thing around, like actually like upside down. And move it straight up like that. And use this as like a reference, obviously. Okay. Okay, so if I don't talk, it's because I'm like thinking about the process. All right, so there's like a little notch right here. I'm assuming, and of course I can't draw in that view. Okay. So right here in this area, that's where you put the screws, right? These little screws go right there. And on this polygon cylinder that we have, or I'm sorry, cube, if I were to draw it in like 3-point perspective, or three-quarter view, it looks like this. And there's that little notch right here where the screws go. And of course we're going to bevel it. And then like everything else right there in the middle, like they all are raised up, like they come up higher like that. Something like that. I don't know, we'll give it a try. Good morning. Okay, so let's see. I'll add an edge loop. I'll hold shift, right mouse click and hold, insert edge loop tool option box. Let's change that to 2. I'll keep this open and then click there. If I press R immediately, it'll allow me to scale those guys. So I'm kind of making the notch where you can see well, where the screws are going to go. And then if I press Y, it's a repeat previous command. Oops. And I'll change this relative distance from edge. And then we'll click here. Okay, so this is where our screws are going to go. Okay, now let's begin to like taper off the back end of this and then extrude it higher. Hold shift, select these 3 faces. I can hold shift, left mouse click and drag up, press R, scale it down like that. And the only other bit of information that I could see with this shape is that it does go up a little bit higher, and I'm assuming like it would be right here. So this is, these little 2 notches would be this section here, and then you can see how this part is raised, so that would kind of be that section here. So I'll select these guys again, press Control E, and then I'm going to change the offset just a little bit, and then I'll press W and move it forward here, move it up just a little bit, and let's see. Okay, I'm just looking for places I could add edge loops. I guess the real question is, do I need to get this detailed, this technical with it? And yeah, I guess. I mean, it all depends on what your like your motivation is, like what your goal is in this particular field. Someone that can add a lot of detail to it, or someone that could just add a base level and then add more. So I want to show you guys, I don't know, what I think would be good. I can do that. If I press 3, obviously it doesn't look very nice. Let's just take this part, move it up like that. Now if I press 3. Press 1. Maybe another edge loop around this section. Right there. It's not too bad. Just for the sake of like, not necessarily time, but like, I don't know, we might not even see this up close and personal. I want to add an edge loop right down the center. Press Y, go to multiple edge loops, change that to 1, put one right down the center there. I'll put one here, and then I'm actually going to get rid of it later. I'm just using it as a reference to put a polygon cylinder right here. Let's see. Let's like these guys. One, two. Move these guys down. This one and that one, move them down. And I guess I could have turned on symmetry. Okay, press 1. Let's go to edge. Let's select this edge, that one, the outside, and hold shift, right mouse click and hold, bevel edge. And let's add 2 segments. And if I press 3, then I get this really awkward thing here. Let's not bevel. I think if we just add edge loops, turn it back to relative distance from the edge. I'll make a really wide square here. Press W. I'm going to double click here, double click there, hold shift and double click here. I'll go to edit mesh, delete edge and vertex. I'll press Y, which is the insert edge loop tool, and I'll add an edge loop over here. I press 3. Starting to smooth out a little bit better. I can add one right about here. And then we can add one at the bottom here. And one here. And then press 3. Okay, so it doesn't look as smooth as it probably should. And that's because our edge loops are a little bit too close to the edge. So let's double click here. Let's double click here, hold shift, right mouse click and hold, slide edge tool, and then I'll middle mouse button drag it to the right. Double click here, hold middle mouse button, drag it to the left. Just a nice square. And there you go. So it rounds off much better. Okay, and although there's a circle right there, if we just put the cubes, sorry, not the cubes, but the bolts right there, it should look, better. It should look pretty nice. And I want to add one more edge loop, so I'll press Y. Again, that was our previous command. If Y doesn't work for you, then just go to Mesh Tools, insert Edge Loop Tool, and we'll put one right about there. 3, and there you go. Okay. Now there is a hole right there, and then we're all like, okay, should we add that hole? It's totally up to you. It's not like a requirement. However, if you wanted to, I'm just looking at existing faces on here, and I'm going to use the Insert Edge Loop tool. Actually, well, let's use the, I don't use this one very often. It is the slide. No, it's not it. Where are you at? I think I might be able to find it. Oh, it's an offset edge loop. So if I click on this center edge, there we go. See, it puts edge loops right next to each other, and it did this weird thing because in our offset edge loop, I'm going to turn off insert edge flow. Okay, and now when I click on this edge and drag it to the right, I'm trying to create like this even space between there. Alright, where's our image? So we can see exactly where to put that. Okay, it's kind of like right here in this little space. So like we did earlier, we're going to turn this into a circle. All right, so Control E, change the offset, and then it's like very funky. Let's just try 0.05. Maybe. I'll scale it a little bit wider, like that. And then I'll take these vertices. Let's go to my top view. So I think it might be a little bit easier to see. And I want to bring them in closer. But it'd be easier if we scaled these in together. And then change our move tool to component. Oops. I keep pressing caps lock instead of shift, my bad. Alright, so in component mode, doesn't like to move it. Let's do that. And do this. So if you were with me a little bit earlier and watching the other tutorials, you'll see that we can make any square shape into a rounded object. Just have to get the shape to look nice. So I'm going to use this as my reference. Bring it in, and then okay, so I'm just like trying to eyeball the proximity here between that line, and let's do that. Now I know that Maya has this tool called the Sphereize or something like that. It's like, where are you at? It's somewhere. It's not make whole. I don't use it very often, so that's probably why. Circularize, and I don't like to use it very often. Maybe I'll perfect it and then teach you guys how to use it. But as for now, this is what we have, okay? And I'll extrude it one more time. Change the offset to something small, 0.01. My music just got pretty loud. Let's try 0.001. Ooh, too small. 0.005. There we go. And then press F to frame in. Control E. Move it down like that. And just for giggles, we'll make that guy flatten out. I'll hold W, left mouse click and hold, change it to world. Oops. This one, that one, and just press R, flatten it. And you know what? I'm just gonna flatten all these guys out too. And then I'll delete it. And then we'll hold shift, right mouse click and hold, insert edge loop tool. I think it's really good for you guys to familiarize yourself with like shortcuts. It does make our life a lot easier. And when we press 3, that's the shape that we get. Okay, doesn't look perfectly like a circle, so we press 3 and I look at it from my top view. I definitely want to move some things over. Make sure you're not selecting unwanted vertices by pressing 4, looking through that, and then yeah. There we go. So that's that little shape there. I'll click on this edge. I'll click on mesh, fill hole. And since I don't want, we shouldn't have to delete those faces. I'll select those two vertices, edit mesh, connect, mesh tools, multi-cut, that vertex, enter. And again, we have the edit edge flow turned on, which is fine. It's fine. So this is our shape, and I'm happy with it. Now we just need to reunite it. Okay. Since I've been using these images as a pretty solid reference, that should be about the same. So if I hold V, snap it like that, go to my side view, I'll hold V, and I think it's just a little bit too tall, so press E, I'll hold J, I'll rotate it, press W, and if I'm not mistaken, that round part goes towards the area where the screws are, and it's like that, and it probably should go a little bit closer here. And then it kind of like pivots right here. So if I press 3, that's what it looks like. I'm pretty sure that the mirror is going to, alright, so this is what I'm going to do. Like the face, or the vertices from here forward, I'm going to move it there, or better yet, I'll press 1, go to edge, I'll double click this edge, I'll press Control E, W, I'll move it up, I'll press R, I'll scale it down, Control E, press W, move it up, I'll press R, and then I'm just going to press Control 1 on this object. I'll click on these edges again, press F to frame in, and then I'll go to Mesh, Fill Hole. I'll click on that vertex, edit Mesh, connect, this vertex, that vertex, press G. I'll press Command 1. And this would be a really fantastic place to save. Rearview mirror, and then let's call it _01. Rearview mirror _01. Save. Okay. Now I'm just going to bring a few of these faces closer. Let me look at it like this. Let me look inside. It's like those 4. What if I just select these 2? So the face is like right in the middle of this geometry. Shift period. Control E, offset at 0.02, and then okay, I'll hold W, left mouse click and hold. Let's change this to component. And move these guys over. Whoa. A little far out, man, a little far out. So we're doing that whole circular thing here. But you know what? Let's try that circularize I was telling you earlier. If I selected these guys and went to edit mesh and then circularize, that's what it does. Let's change that twist. I'll change the radial offset. And then I'll change the position like this. And then I can maybe change the width of it. And I probably should have used this earlier. Control E. Change the offset to 0.02. And then I'll move it back like this. Control E again, and then push it. I'll press. Yeah, let's push it back like that. So now when we press 3, there's like this little insert there. Right, it helps us. It helps with like the believability of it rotating in that area. I probably want to. Whoa, geometry is out of place. Control 1. And let's help this guy out a little bit more. Let's scale it up. There you go. And that's our rear view mirror. So this shape, I'll hold shift, and then I'll press Control G to turn it into a group. Modify center pivot. I'll look at this from my front view, press F. I'll press R, I'll hold D, V, snap it to the center, snap it right there to the center, and then I'll hold D and then move this guy back. So when we rotate this, press E, it kind of like hinges right there. Right? And I probably want to take that edge and move it back. Press R, scale it down, Control E, press W, move it back, press R, scale it down, so that it looks a little bit more rounded. So press 3, it looks like that. And we can press Control 1, and I click on this geometry, press the up arrow, and I rotate it. It, looks nicer. And then I'll hold Shift, select this guy, this one. Alright, so select that one, hold Shift, select that guy. that guy, press the up arrow, and then I'll press Control G, modify center pivot. I'll go to my front view. I'll hold D, V, and I'll snap this right to the center. Bring it straight up right here. Go to my side view. I'll hold D and then put the pivot right in the center. Now I press E and I can pivot this guy like that. And then I could click on this, press the up arrow, and then pivot this guy like that. And so it's doing this really weird thing with the geometry. I'm going to highlight everything. Edit, delete by type, history, delete. I'll hold E, left mouse click and drag, change it to world. Hold R, left mouse click and drag, change it to world. Hold W and then change that to world. Okay, here, there. Let's go to object list. I'm sorry, Windows, outliner. And my outliner is very messy, so please, please, please don't fault me. So I have this group. So I have these two objects. I have this guy, which is two groups in here. There's that group, and then there's this group. So if I hold the middle mouse button, drag it, and put it inside of group 11, I can get rid of that group. So there's that, that, and that. I'll hold Shift, Control G. Modify, center pivot, hold D, move this guy up, and here. Okay, so there's this group, press the up arrow, again I have that group, and now when I rotate it, it's not bad. What had happened was I had two groups, and then the center pivot was like all the way over here, so when it was like rotating, it was doing this really funky distortion. Okay, now we can change the rotation of our rearview mirror. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so here's our rear view mirror. Excited about the way it turned out, and we'll go ahead and stop this for now. Okay, the next thing that we're going to work on is our tire tread, but for now, you guys have a rear view mirror, and that was the shape we had earlier. So I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. What I would do is take that group and then scale it down, put it inside of your vehicle, press F. You can hold V to snap it right there, press R, scale it down, press E, hold J, rotate it like that. Let's go to our front view, our channel box editor. I press Control S to save. Turn on our front image plane, and I guess our front image plane doesn't have a rear view mirror there, but we'll just put this guy right there, close this, and yeah, there you go. Rear view mirror complete. How you like them apples? Nice. Okay guys, so yeah, just kind of put that here, see you in the next tutorial.